There's never been a better time for fans of blockbuster movies, with more and more movies raising the stakes, raising the budgets, and competing to top the box office. Some massive movies are on the way, which means more behind-the-scenes secrets any movie buff will want to know. Here's our latest rapid-fire dose of film trivia. Know your movies, 30 mind-blowing facts about new movies. Suicide Squad. Batman appearing in the movie makes perfect sense given that most of the villains come from his line of comic books, but Ben Affleck will actually make history as the first actor to play Batman for 2 different directors. The live-action Harley Quinn is sporting a new costume, but according to Margot Robbie, the costume department actually made versions of her famous jester suit with the skirt and corset made famous in the Batman Arkham series. They didn't make the cut, but there's always the sequels. Wonder Woman. Fans got their first look at the Wonder Woman cast thanks to a photo in Batman v Superman, but the connections don't end there. Look closely and you'll be able to catch Zack Snyder playing a soldier. The similarities between DC's Wonder Woman and Marvel's Thor are obvious, but things got weird when actors Liam Hemsworth and Alexander Skarsgård were considered to play Steve Trevor. Liam's brother plays Thor, and Skarsgård's father plays his close friend. Weird. Beauty and the Beast. Never underestimate nostalgia. In its first 24 hours on YouTube, the trailer for this film clocked over 91 million views, smashing the record set by Captain America: Civil War and even Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The movie is famous for its unforgettable songs, but when the director went through auditions, he surprised each actor by having them sing Hakuna Matata from The Lion King instead. According to him, it was just to confuse them. Who says directors can't have some fun? X-Men Apocalypse. The movie finally sees star James McAvoy lose his hair to match Patrick Stewart, but fans might miss another detail. His wheelchair is the exact one used by Stewart in the original X-Men films, bringing the series full circle. Stan Lee teased that his trademark cameo in Apocalypse would be something special, and it is. He doesn't appear alone, but alongside his wife Joan of 50 years. How's that for romantic? To get the villain's voice as inhuman as needed, actor Oscar Isaac was brought in to re-record all his dialogue, with a bass mic on one cheek and a bass drum mic on the other, with all 3 mixed together in post. Captain America: Civil War. In the movie, Falcon gets a new gadget in the form of a recon drone called Red Wing. It's a more believable version of his pet bird from the comics, which he could use to scan the battlefield telepathically. The studio made sure to show off star Chris Evans' biceps holding back a helicopter in marketing. But the reason audiences had never seen something like it is because of how natural a pose it is in practice. So unnatural, in fact, that Evans ended up suffering some injuries to his arms as a result. It's not an optical illusion. Captain America's t-shirts really are too small for him, on purpose, for obvious reasons. But over the course of filming, they had to get even smaller, since star Chris Evans would always lose weight and size due to the rigorous schedule. The Avengers: Infinity War. The movie will be action-packed, but audiences will also get to see it all in IMAX, since it's the first non-documentary to be filmed entirely in that format. Fans got the first glimpse of the Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's trophy room, but when the one belonging to Thanos was on the other hand, they thought the studio had made a mistake. But Marvel boss Kevin Feige shot that down, confirming there is more than one, hopefully for a good reason. Warcraft. Although some members of the cast have admitted to be completely addicted to the game, star Travis Fimmel claims he had never actually heard of the global sensation when he took the job. Typical alliance. Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. Believe it or not, the first version of the movie did not include fan favorite Casey Jones. It was only when producer Michael Bay insisted he had to be worked into the plot that the filmmakers came up with a solution. Fate took over from there. Not only was Arrow star Stephen Amell able to find time to play the part, but he literally went from wrapping Arrow Season 3 to filming Turtles the next day. Finding Dory. Although over a decade has passed since Finding Nemo, the sequel is only set 6 months later. That meant a new voice actor was needed for Nemo, since the original actor is now 22. Feel old yet? The movie originally followed some marine life in a SeaWorld-esque park, but after Pixar executives saw the 2013 documentary Blackfish, the story was changed to remove some questions of animal cruelty. Independence Day: Resurgence. An Independence Day sequel was actually feedlot and paid for following the original, which would have followed Will Smith's character's stepson fighting aliens in space. But writer Dean Devlin didn't like his work and actually returned the payment. His character may have been level-headed, but Jeff Goldblum was anything but while filming. Aside from singing songs to his castmates and demanding harmonies, he would even pass out plays for the cast to perform between takes, in an effort to pass the time without getting bored. That's actually not even surprising. Star Trek Beyond. It was long rumored that the first draft of Star Trek III included an on-screen reunion of the original Kirk and Spock. But while the studio waited to see if Shatner would agree, Leonard Nimoy passed away, and creative changes meant a completely new story would be told. How's this for weird? Every single Star Trek villain in the rebooted series is now also a Marvel movie hero. Eric Bana played the Incredible Hulk, Benedict Cumberbatch is playing Doctor Strange, and Idris Elba plays Heimdall, gatekeeper of Asgard in the Thor movies, alongside Chris Hemsworth who played Kirk's father. What are the odds? Doctor Strange. Actor Mads Mikkelsen being cast as the villain makes him the third man to portray a version of Hannibal Lecter before joining a Marvel movie. Brian Cox first played the role in Manhunter before joining X-Men, and Anthony Hopkins made the character famous before joining the Thor series. The Disney ownership may play a bigger part in Doctor Strange than you'd think. While the magic has been said to draw on The Matrix and Harry Potter, the cinematographer turned to Disney's Fantasia for the visual flourishes. Fantastic Beasts. Author J.K. Rowling claimed to be done with Harry Potter's world when the movie series ended, but when the president of the studio took her to lunch, they walked away with a new trilogy in the works, and Rowling claimed it would never have happened without his pitch. Must have been a good lunch. Rowling has claimed that there's no overlap between Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter, but thanks to one Easter egg in The Prisoner of Azkaban, Newt Scamander did indeed walk the halls of Hogwarts during Harry's years, even though he was technically dead. Or was he? Rogue One. Since the movie is set before the original Star Wars, Rogue One's costume designer has hinted that fans looking closely may spot some of the original costumes made for the 1977 film back in action. Fans will finally get to see a younger version of Mon Mothma, the leader of the rebels played by Genevieve O'Reilly, but the actress played the part already. All her scenes were simply cut out of the prequel trilogy in editing. It wasn't a Hollywood screenwriter or George Lucas who thought of the premise of the movie, but John Knoll, the ILM visual effects supervisor who worked on the special editions and prequels. When he started to think of the spin-off stories he'd like to see told, the result was a 20-minute pitch that became Rogue One. So that's our list of 30 awesome facts about some of today's biggest blockbuster hits. What other fun stories or secrets have you heard? What big movies are you most excited about? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun videos like this one.